Huh? Do you also see Navia and Clorand over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered.
Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court of Fontaine. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he'd...
What about Chiori and
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave them...
Navia, Clorand, what's up?
Oh my. Well, if... Huh?
Yep, this is our chance.
Do you need our help with something?
Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem right now that only you can solve.
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Traveler, Paimon, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day?
Marechaussee what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters with your friends. Oh, I've loved their stuff ever since I was a kid.
That sounds super interesting.
Clorand and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to help playtest. And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse. I mean, come on.
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues, but I think this one is pretty solid. The author obviously put a lot of work into the story, and the world building is also
Whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet. No spoilers.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4. Ah, yes. We're missing one final player right now.
So, you're saying you'll help us out?
Paimon and the Traveler are...
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players and ensure that everyone has a good time.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play? Paimon will follow your lead.
Well, that solves our problem.
Woohoo! I'll go grab...
The script manager?
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for the script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. The script, on top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life.
Wow, you're right. Whoever wrote this script
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right? I mean, even the GM doesn't know how the story will end.
I look forward to experiencing it with you all.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be...
Sounds good. Remember to always...
You say that like I'm 6... Let me think. What kind of character should I play this time?
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop... Sorry to keep you waiting.
You're back! Huh? And you've got the Traveler and Paimon with you, too!
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for...
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too. Are you also members of the table?
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette, Fremine, and I play something similar at the hotel. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Clorand simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and asked if I...
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first. especially when it comes to the quality of the script.
Do you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities, Clip?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game...
Right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
It's nothing. Really, just a small hobby of mine.
Wow. Hyman's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist. It's kind of hard to imagine you role-playing with a bunch of friends.
Surely you jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for my players. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. I put all but in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person.
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering...
I was probably in work mode.
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your personal life, you don't get emotional very often.
So you want to see me cry? That might be a little difficult. A show of anger, though, that might be something.
No, that's not what I meant.
I'm back! Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager, Mr. Florian.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Hello. Wait, are you a champion duelist?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief This script was adapted from the real history of the Marashose hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve it.
Hyman's not super familiar with the history of the
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marashose hunters were people who dedicated themselves. Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty, as well as the first hunter, Cassiodor. But I'll leave the finer details.
And I'll provide additional commentary as the story progresses.
In that case, brave hunters.
Whoa, just one sentence and it's like we're in the...
Aha, I see many a determined gaze before me. Very well.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes? Ooh, sounds...
It's the exact location of the scene, as well as the formal... Please check all your belongings, everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything.
Sounds good. Hunters...
Whoa, they really have thought of everything. Even the phaetometer is here and ready to go for us.
The phaetometer.
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to use certain skills.
And what about all the dessert and tea?
That's what the message said.
Really? That's so nice. It feels just like a tea party with friends.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written all over them.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a Marashose hunter, Paimon.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon will track down every last one.
The desserts are great, but I'm still looking forward to the story more than anything.
Very fair. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. In this story, everyone is a Marashosei hunter. To reflect this, the club has prepared a small
Ooh, nice.
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional skill points to those areas.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all of this?
Why don't you share a character card then? The traveler will be the Marashosei hunter.
So, for the name, do I
Yep, it can be any name.
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I.
Oh, so it would be like experiencing a different life, but still as yourself. That's not a bad idea.
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name Linny then.
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills.
I'll take persuasion and investigation.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for getting.
So, should we also take those skills then?
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave that. For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. I suppose it's not so different from an acting troupe. Everyone has their own role to play. Let me see. I'll take arts and performance. I'm not quite sure what use they'll be, but I'm not as knowledgeable about the other skills, and I'm not too confident I'd be able to roleplay them well.
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, traveler? Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. That's nice of you. Ha ha! Got us in. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Let's see.
You've all picked such classic skills.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here. Summon. Doesn't it?
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill...
The script's world-building rules, huh? But how are we supposed...
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skill.
All right, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn Summon, then. Paimon can't wait.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished since 2 of our players are doing this for the first time, though, let me ask, would you like to play on easy mode, or...
What's the difference between the two?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the result. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. A crit if you choose to play in authentic mode. Every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use. If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy mode.
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. Never knowing what you might have to
I'd rather be mentally prepared.
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default.
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure?
Trust me, you'll see the beat. Honestly, I don't think Clorinde would make things too difficult for us, no matter.
No promises.
That wasn't.
Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's get...
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene...
Well, that's because, a long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. They created a host of monsters and sent them to slaughter all humans in existence. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every monster that sought. Sometime later, as a member of the Marechaussee Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the as you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. Your eyes meet, and you realize these people are...
You're all Marechaussee hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name... What say you to traveling together? We can help each other out on the road.
Okay, my name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? It sounds like they've done this dozens of times. My name is Farina, and, I grew up in a noble family. I always had a strong interest in performance and the arts. Even though I'm a Marechaussee hunter, what I really want is to be a performing artiste.
Hey, that's really cool. You can do it, Farina. That's exactly how it's...
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marechaussee hunt.
I've been studying medicine ever since I was a child. I want to do my part to eradicate these monsters and...
Oh, welcome, welcome. When we face the monsters, I'll make...
You open your envelopes at the same time. To the honorable and trustworthy Marechaussee Hunters, the lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being...
The layout of this city looks...
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of place. Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears...
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the...
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of this...
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from the local residents?
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters and bad guys.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for...
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by, taverns are usually...
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today.
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer. If we keep asking questions, we might be able to get some good leads.
Oh, come now. Don't be sad. Life is all about optimism. Oh, that...
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to ask.
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons?
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me for saying this, but you don't really look like a chef.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweet. Hey! Did she just... me?
Clorian must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere.
Are you sure? In that case, please refer to the...
Whoa, it was a success!
You remain silent as you prepare a pot and fire to use for cooking. The woman stares at you with her mouth agape as you skillfully cut the ingredient. After some time, a rich aroma begins to fill the air. Even a passing cat can't help but...
Please, have some food. Who knows, maybe you'll feel...
Whoa, that...
Wait. So as long as you pass the check, you can pretty much do anything? And it won't be seen as absurd?
Oh, thank you. You were right. This food really did make me feel better.
So, what had you so worried earlier? Could you tell us?
Okay, let me fill you in. A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently, so all the guards were dispatched.
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure. All I know...
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes...
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible.
Don't worry. We'll find him. Just try to remain... We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things.
I'll do my best. You bid farewell to the woman, and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very... friendly.
Pardon me, sir.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about this much?
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't
Surely an onion can't be that expensive.
what do you know? War is nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did.
Whoa, what a nasty guy.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something? Sir, we came to this city to solve the very problem. If you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going...
Well, things are basically as you said, young lady. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade routes. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues, we're all gonna be in big trouble.
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even... Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with you now.
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more.
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he...
This guy seems promising enough. Hello, sir. Is there any...
Wait, you're...
I'm...
Oh, dear goodness! You're a Marashose hunter!
You recognize us? Ah, are you one of the people who wrote the...
Yes, yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. Oh, what great news! The city is saved!
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. The first Marashose hunter, Casiodor, the Golden Hunter, he was the one who drove them. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or...
Are there not enough soldiers to...
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marashose hunters drove. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think...
Well, you can rest easy, friend.
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes begin to well with...
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find them. Can you give us any leads?
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. I'm afraid I can't point you toward a specific location. Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group of guards. They might know more about where to find the monsters.
I see. We'll go look for them then.
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters outside the city, they're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers with... Even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a bore...
Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up?
Huh? Like, now? Is this really the right time?
I appreciate your kindness, but for now, it's more important to focus on the crisis at hand. Brave hunters,
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems in the kingdom that need solving, right?
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city and take down the evil sorcerer stirring up trouble from within.
But which problem should we tackle first?
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break. Take some time and discuss what you...
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally thought the hunt...
Well, Clarence said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the real...
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history.
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script. You brought up...
Paimon wants to know, too! The hunters were super powerful, right? Were they all from a special line of supernatural beings?
No. All Marashose hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only thing that set them apart...
Huh? So you mean anyone could become...
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the rigorous training and master... Still, most people dropped out at the early stages. And others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly? Oh, and the evil sorcerer the script mentions. Did they exist in real life too?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear. One of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems. He sought to...
Now, wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil source.
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want me to talk about something else, then... How about Casiodor, the Golden Hunter? Or Egeria, the ex-Hydro Archon?
Wait, but those people are all from a super long time ago. Where did you learn all this, Clorinde?
From my master.
Huh. By master, you mean Miss Petronia?
Someone you...
Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were good friends.
Let's not get off topic. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors followed Casiodor into battle against the monsters. This group of warriors, under Casiodor's leadership, became known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually became obsolete. The Marechaussee Phantom, originally an association made up of hunters.
Ah, I see. That explains what...
Is that really a bad thing, though? It can get tough always being the one shouldering everyone's expectations.
Depends on who you ask, I suppose.
Speaking of investigations,
I vote monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right? We can come back to the sorcerer later.
Well said, Miss Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole...
what about you, partner? What do you think? It's decided that...
All right. After some discussion,
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
you there, outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build, and although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait... I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone...
I said talk, not whisper between...
Have you...
Marechaussee Hunters? Ha! That fairy... Using your knowledge of medicine, you're able to deduce that the injury on his calf was a monster's doing, and the wound has...
I'm a doctor by trade. Please, let me...
The man appears somewhat disgruntled at having been exposed, but soon relents and raises his... He allows you to apply a poultice of specialized medicine to the wound, and it appears to bring him much relief. The tension in his brow eases. Oh, right. Guess you lot might actually be real Marechaussee Hunters after all.
Do you know where we can find the monsters?
He informs you of the various locations where monsters have appeared. He looks in that general direction with a... Some of our new recruits have never even dealt with a petty thief. And now they're...
Oh, please, sir. Don't get too worked up.
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of hope flashes in his eyes. Those monsters aren't easy to deal with. But if you insist, I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to...
Based on what the captain said, the monsters should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back, they yell.
This is the place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you. All the signs point to one thing. A true...
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might still be around.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression...
A little help here! This big one!
Your battle round...
Shower me with praise!
The next battle round begins now.
Watch out!
Step right up.
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating.
Ugh. Thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points.
I never knew the photometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you...
That's part of the fun.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump. Wait, could it be the thing that appears after every battle?
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery, poking out of the ground like a shy flower bud.
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, you succeed even without opening it. You can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest that it must contain
Makes sense. We worked hard for this.
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it...
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got...
Wait, is that how it works?
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game...
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marashose hunters.
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with...
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy...
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late.
Wow!
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all, or because the story is...
Here, here!
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will...
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next...
Huh?
Mm-hmm. There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed...
Whoa! They really pulled out all the stops for this...
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can...
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts before we...
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, and anyway, Paimon...
Well...
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain...
What a heavy beginning for a life story.
Master was a fascinating individual. My first ever toy was a short sword.
Oh, wait, so she handed an actual...
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage this wound."
Excuse me for asking this, Clorinde.
Probably around...
3? Isn't that when most kids are...
As I said, Master was rather...
I'm not so sure this is a question of...
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Lee.
A geovicious hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous.
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight. Whoever loses is the real pet.
And...
5.
Well...
No, I lost.
So you're saying you actually became the...
Yes, but only for a week. By the...
That really doesn't sound like the kind of child...
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days. That...
I still remember the first time we met.
I still hadn't...
After that, though, you started coming over a
I had a lot of fun during...
I enjoyed them, too. Oh, do you remember that one? We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you...
Protector of justice. Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante here?
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night.
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports about her on Nervalette's desk.
My...
Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing to... Although, calling herself the Protector of Order was a bit much. Especially when she...
Huh? When did the Protector...
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just 2.
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the two
Well, she certainly sounds like a...
It's true. I always wanted to become like her.
But...
She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years old.
Disappeared?
I have no idea. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but they never found any credible
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, give just like how, when a litter of kittens...
Were you upset, Clorinde?
I was at first, but not anymore.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps.
I suspect my position would be far too by the book.
Who knew Clorinde had such an interesting past? I never had the chance to ask her about it before. And I wonder... if Clorinde's master were the champion duelist back then, would that duel against Mr. Callus have gone differently? Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorinde and Navia are probably thinking something similar.
Well, anyway.
I had a great time today, Miss Clorinde.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got... Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geovish...
What does she mean, on to something? I guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy if I'm...
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the Vish?
I was talking about the script...
looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't...
Is that really the most important? Have you all cold railings?
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's...
So the set is going to...
Unfortunately, that is some...
Anyone think Cloran's smile is starting to...
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. But if we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name?
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile.
Staring at me won't get you anywhere.
Why aren't you saying anything now?
Oh, this is the short sword Cloran mentioned last night.
Huh. I'm surprised.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the circumstances and... Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all...
Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet, have we?
Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just...
All right, Paimon's made up her mind. Let's just give the... Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
So, you reached an agreement?
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground as well.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of... The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere, but your spirits are surprisingly high in places where sunlight struggles to reach. You generously share your wealth with the Thank you, kind soul. The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away.
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up.
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a...
Oh, good idea.
Just as you start to make way to the square, please wait, distinguished guests. Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you and proceed.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who...
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? Meeting the...
I say we go for it. If something happens...
That...
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks. The items appear quite ordinary in size and dimension, yet their presence somehow makes the emptiness...
Wow, it's so luxurious.
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, he wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right... A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands and bends down to whisper a few words to the king. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up. His gaze shifts to fixate on your group, but he does not move from his place at the king's side.
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though.
The king remains still and says nothing. The minister is the one who speaks. Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your exceptional ability with the sword to repel the monster. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes...
Well, we've got nothing to hide. The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a well, that was enough details, right?
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors.
Well, we did take the...
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you return it at once.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward?
Yes, that will. Only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful wealth of a.
But that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, that makes no sense! If it weren't for us, the...
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without reporting it to the. What? No answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you.
Well, what about the king?
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil sorcerer?
I would like to observe the number of guards stationed.
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere,
Well, there goes my plan to turn the whole place up.
it appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill intent. Before I decide your fate, however, I must first determine whether you have any.
Can't we try to slip away? Or maybe start some...
But if we try to fight the guards right now...
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear. If you're scared, Paimon, just hold my hand.
Aw, thanks, you guys.
You allow yourself to be led away by guards surrounding you on both sides. It's only when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dungeon ceiling and smell the stench of death and decay all around you that you finally realize you've stepped into a completely different world.
Stay here, and don't try anything funny.
The guards lock the cell door and leave without looking back.
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall, but the only response you receive is the sound of water dripping from the ceiling.
No! What should we do now?
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands, of course. I draw my weapon.
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards locked you in the cell. The bag of treasure along with...
What about that knife I hid in my boot?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before...
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell door.
Oh, well, there goes all our plans.
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What? But that's a terrible ending!
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players...
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the...
That is a...
If only there were desserts and...
Oh, before I forget, I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era.
Wait, Cloran said that sword used to belong to her master.
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than...
Hang on. A precious...
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key. I gave you the sword back then, because...
Wait, when did this happen exactly?
After the duel. Between Mr. Callis and myself.
Before that, Clorand would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spinas after the duel, though. There was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. We were both sad and conflicted. And total. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder. If Miss Petronia had never introduced us to each back then, it felt like I hadn't just lost a...
No one can change the past. The most important thing is that you...
Yep, you're right.
I'm sorry, you two.
Think nothing of it.
Looks like the next part of...
Perfect timing. The situation was really starting to get desperate.
From Corinne's face, Paimon really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this lightless... Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust, and find yourselves alternating between Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the door.
Heads up, everyone. Someone's coming.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is...
Huh?
Shh! I've already sent away the other guards, but
I understand, but how can we be sure we can trust you?
the king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before...
Executed? We barely did any...
Monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure.
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As for my identity, I have no way to prove that. Infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me.
Have you seen our weapons anywhere, sir?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be enough to defeat the true enemy. His faction is too powerful. The guard to defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marechaussee hunt...
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. As long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid you in the...
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. I will do my utmost. As for the location of the vault, here.
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain from making any noise. You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Marechaussee and...
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeons. Your sense of despair and anxiety...
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get the chance to use that cool summon spell?
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
This should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly looks...
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order then.
Wow, you really meant that.
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water. It's
Well, guess this...
Oh, what's the matter?
It's nothing. As you step into the cave, you find yourself in an
Wow, this must be where the treasure is hidden.
But this door is blocking our way in. It almost looks like it's been here for quite some time. I've got to...
Huh. What have we got down here? A kind of...
a pattern on a stone door. That's...
Is something wrong, Clarissa?
After a long, difficult journey, you finally arrive at the location indicated by your surroundings are exceedingly quiet and serene, as if the secret that slumbers here has
That description makes Paimon feel...
We're doing this for the sake of the people, to free them from the...
Linny's right. We need to keep... The next part of the story requires us to solve the...
Yes, that... Something feels off about all this.
I found something!
Found something here, too.
Same here. It worked!
Something just appeared. Some kind of new mechanism, maybe?
By solving the puzzles, you prove yourselves worthy of At the end of each puzzle, your reward...
With?
A key.
Oh, it must be the key to the big door.
Huh? This is one of the Marechaussee Hunter keys that are passed down from generation. It is said that 4 keys in total are required to form the final, complete key. And...
Huh?
You hear a few strange noises. Suddenly, all the torches...
What's going on? Did we fall into another trap?
For the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone.
But Paimon can still see a little bit over here. Oh, right. Sorry.
Suddenly, you...
There's someone else here?
I've been discovered then.
Wait, that...
You recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets the treasure for himself.
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see anything, that means...
Judging by the way he's holding his sword, he must be a real Marechaussee Hunter. But this isn't part of the script.
Retreat! That's not the Hunter way.
Your choice is noted. Please keep your eyes closed until I tell you the torches have been relit.
You got it!
Well then.
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword.
Your strike is successful.
You're facing it.
Is he still standing? Goodness, he sure has a lot of HP.
Is it over? Can we open our...
The enemy is strong and relentless.
What about now?
Final strike. Ha!
Oh, well, did we get him?
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear. In an impressive display of courage, that look in his eyes. It's...
Huh? Mr. Florian? Oh, wait. We're supposed to be role-playing. I should stand... Speak your name, guard. Is this treasure really more...
What kingdom? What peace? I, Florian, am a true Marashose hunter, descended from hunters of ages past.
So he's also using his real name. Or, wait, was that the name of...
Then I'm even more confused. If you truly are a Marashose hunter, shouldn't you want to help?
What do you know? In this day and age, there's no glory.
What's that supposed to...
My skills were passed down to me by my father. We lived a life of obscurity in the remote wilderness. And what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain. And the Marashose hunters were the ones who saved this city. We're heroes.
Is he talking about how no one in the capital seems to remember the hunters and their legacy?
So that's why you want to take the treasure for yourself?
If you already knew where the treasure was located, why didn't you just come down?
Because I still needed the final...
Only a true Marashose hunter is as someone who sought to hurt others for his own gain. Florian lost that right long ago.
Okay, but what is this treasure anyway?
You're sure you want to go in?
We've been talking about it for so long. Of course we want to see...
And we've already defeated Florian, right?
Watch yourself.
Then let's open the door together.
All right. Before you, the door to the treasure, sealed. You hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse. Almost like a sleeping giant letting out an...
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Ooh, me too!
Ugh, uncovering hidden treasure is the most exciting part of adventuring.
A stone tablet? And some shabby weapons?
You call this a treasure vault?
Maybe the troop ran out of budget at the end?
They provided a super immersive experience.
Wait, I get it now. Paimon, this is the real...
Huh?
This is it? The Marashose hunter treasure is just a stone slab and some broken swords?
Whoa, are you okay?
The Marashose hunter before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. If the rest of you wish to
Walter.
The names on...
The old and broken weapons.
So, how are you doing?
What?
Do you remember how you got here?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to... The explosion...
You mean these?
Huh?
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye out. I've already dismantled...
So the strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine saved the day once again.
I deserve some answers, don't you think? Tell me why everything you said earlier sounded like the truth. Luckily, your monologue was dramatic enough to convince my friends you were just role-playing.
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong to me. The feelings about my father and the other Marechaussee hunters are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry, bitter that no one remembered them. Or I don't know when it started, but at some point, my anger came to completely consume me.
But if the treasure was all you cared about, why plant all those explosives? Wouldn't they just destroy the treasure and bury you along with it?
I can't remember. My head is a mess.
From your description, I suspect you were dealing with a
Devorator?
Oh, your master... your father, I mean. Never talked about it?
No, I've heard of it. I'm just not sure. Wait, it can't be.
The seal?
My family has served as Marechaussee hunters for many generations. But the title and swordsmanship weren't the only things passed down. My father instructed me to always watch over that seal and maintain it regularly. He said it had, but I neglected that duty after he died. I finally decided to come down and check on it.
The Devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being. If you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption. In light of this,
I heard it has the power to amplify the obsessions and desires in people's hearts, to the point where they overtake you entirely.
and yet you were able to retrieve 3 of the 4 keys. If I remember correctly, each was entrusted to a respected and capable hunter.
One of them belonged to my father. The second I stole from a different hunter. And the third... I know just how strong you are. It's as clear as day to everyone in Fontaine. I observed you from dusk to dawn, but could never find any opportunity to sneak up on you. The only way I could think to obtain that last key was to lure you here using your hobby, and then... Oh, I get it.
I won't comment on anything else.
Well, I did pour my heart and soul into it. The stories my father used to tell me about the glory of the heroic Marechaussee hunters and how they came...
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud to be a hunter. You're still holding onto that part of yourself, no matter how small.
I have done so many
Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer in your story. Isn't he the true antagonist? The one who sought nothing but his own gain, and used the...
But I've already tainted my sword.
Wake up, Florian. Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to be loved? You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect those you serve. There's nothing Do you still not understand? Even after seeing the treasure for yourself? The contents of that...
You're right. I am a Marechaussee hunter.
I wouldn't be so quick.
I know.
Good. Then, come with me, and help me see the script.
Huh? See the script through
Never finished.
No, I mean, I wrote the script with the sole purpose of luring you all here.
Then we'll just have to keep writing it. The evil sorcerer still needs to...
You mean the Devorator?
Is that really so hard?
You aren't afraid your party will...
I know what my friends are capable of.
Then, are you going to...
I don't...
They're back!
That took a while.
Ahem! My fellow Marechaussee...
Tone it down.
Sorry. After crossing swords with you and witnessing your courage in battle,
Oh, do I smell a redemption arc?
I confess, I was brainwashed by the evil sorcerer. He asked...
That little... Wait, you're saying all...
That's right. He's adept at manipulating the hearts and minds of the people. I fell under it.
And how are you going to prove that you're a change...
To be perfectly honest, I only came to my senses after seeing the treasure. The treasure...
The names of all the Marechaussee hunters from ages past and their weapons?
Wait, you...
Of course. Don't underestimate a veteran role player's explorations.
We just finished reading through the content of the stone tablet.
That tablet recorded the lives of some fascinating people. For example, she inherited the responsibilities of the Golden Hunter and passed judgment on many people. But in private, she had a very easygoing personality. Her favorite...
So, she was just like you.
Oh, you really think so?
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose working as an executioner, he supposedly used a countless number of tricks to confound his enemies in battle.
Their lives were all so exciting. You could write so many cool books about their accomplishments. How could...
Because they chose to be. To hunt monsters that only appear in the shadows, you must also operate in the dark.
Then this stone tablet must have been left behind by their companions.
That's right. Few Marechaussee hunters ever revealed their identity to the public. The only time they spoke of their accomplishments would be at night, when they gathered with their fellow hunters in front of the bonfire to share...
So, this tablet was created not so that the hunters...
No wonder this place was so well hidden.
You regard the stone tablet in solemn silence. The tablet proves that, although a hunter walks a shrouded, their legacies shall continue to be passed down from generation...
Father, you once told me that I should seek out the treasure if... Thank you, my friend. I implore you, everyone. Please give me a chance to make up for all I've done.
Well, I say...
Sounds good to me too. Everyone makes mistakes.
I have no objections, but Mr. Florian...
When he took over my mind...
Huh? He's afraid of...
What if the secret... GM...
At first glance, the weapons appear absolutely... These blades have slain countless monsters, though it's been a long time since they were used in battle.
So basically, take these with us, right?
I'll take this weapon, since it used to belong to Est. Maybe it'll find
Ah, good idea. I'll take Mr. Walter's bow then. From one archer magician to another.
Paimon's gonna pick a cool weapon.
As you grip your weapons, you can almost feel the will of past hunters coursing through your being.
Mr. Florian, do you know where to find...
I was able to see his surroundings when our minds were connected. I believe we must be extremely careful. He's spent so long living among monsters that he...
Then why don't we explore some more and try to find...
No, we have to strike now. He was greatly weakened when I managed to break out of it.
I agree with Mr. Florian. We've got to act while we have the advantage.
Yeah, now that we've got a plan, there's no point in waiting.
Yes, that's what's called... Yes,
All right, you've
Mr. Florian?
of course.
He had to set up so many scenes today, and now he has...
Finally, you decide to sleep. As you walk away, you feel the gaze of the stone tablet at your back. Finally, you arrive at the church Florian described. As you approach, an ominous aura
How strange. This uneasy feeling seems so real.
Now, it is time for the final battle.
Let's go.
Florian, wait.
What's wrong?
I think you should wait outside. You've already been corrupted by the Devorator 1. I don't think it's a good idea for you to be this close.
That's exactly why I have to go.
You...
Yes. I intend to lure.
That's too risky. If things get out of hand, I might have to kill you.
I understand, but if I do this, you'll have a clear and visible target. The Devorator will have a hard time passing up a chance to enter a body it knows how to control. You won't have to worry. You're not like me, Miss Clorand. You're a just and powerful Marachose hunter. The monster broke free due to... This is... Consider it a duel to restore my honor. My only...
I understand. Then, as a champion duelist, I hereby accept your request for a duel. The battle is now upon us. Let the Devorator once again tremble under...
So lifelike.
This foe is not invincible. You hold the treasure. The power to defeat it in your own 2 hands.
The treasure? You mean... The names! It's the Marachose hunters' names!
How are we supposed to...
You forget, Paimon? There's still one skill we saved until the very end.
Hunters fight not for fame, but to aid the people whenever they are summoned.
Walter the Marachose Hunter, master of 1,000 tricks, executioner of the Phantom Hunters, I call for aid!
Est, the Marachose Hunter, inheritor of Cassiodor's will, judge of the Shadow Hunters. Answer my call!
Petronia, protector of justice and order. The hunter I respect the most. Thank you for saving my friend, the best one I'll ever know. Please, lend us your strength!
We have come to answer your summons. And so, the monsters were eradicated, and the sorcerer was defeated. Peace soon returned to the capital. Those in the court some remembered the names of the heroes who saved their kingdom, but others simply continued their lives none the wiser. Such is the story of the Marachose Hunters. They will always protect the city and those within it.
I'm a...
Yes, you've reached one of the...
It's a pretty solid story overall. I thought it was just an ordinary event. That final battle especially.
Oh, right.
Ah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, mine nearly scared the daylights out of me when it started glowing. I took a good... Oh, we should probably give these props back, right?
Did you have a good time?
Of course. Let me know if another script like this comes around.
Sure, no problem.
Then I'll head back for now. I think I need... Once Mr. Florian is awake...
You're right. He's had a lot to do.
Well, see you...
Okay, so
I think it should be fun.
what in the...
So you saw through all of that?
That time in the cave when you told us to close our eyes?
I was dying of curiosity the entire time. I mean,
Guess none of us wanted to be the one to break the illusion.
What are you all talking about?
oh wait, don't tell me you never...
Bit...
You're saying everything?
It's probably more accurate to say this was never a real
What?
So loud.
Hey, you! Get up right now!
No shaking!
Did Paimon just hear that right? You guys, it's not nice to lie to people, but
Yeah, it was like watching a magician.
if Paimon knew something was wrong with that vault, she would have floated
Everything was under control.
As if you've ever described a situation as being...
Guess I'm just used to it.
You must run into a lot of unexpected...
As for you, Florian,
I know there's no excuse for what I did. I'll turn my...
I would say you've already suffered more.
What?
You may have been blinded by fame and fortune in the beginning, but your actions... You'll be far more used to the city above ground than below. Your job at...
But...
Of course, you'll still need to take the keys and pay a personal visit to the 2 hunters you wronged. Prepare to accept any terms they give you as well.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, though, your showing in the duel was enough to prove...
Then I'll do... Thank you so much, everyone. Until we meet again.
Speaking of Marashose hunters, what should we do about the...
Leave it be.
Are you sure? We could show it to people, make it so...
No. Every name on that tablet made the same choice. I am no exception. My identity as a Marashose hunter is not something I need people...
That's certainly very different from the path of a magician.
Wait! Paimon just remembered something. If there were no spec...
That's because the Marashose hunters of ages past would often imbue their weapons with special enchantments to
Oh, so that's why they had an effect on that...
Well, I'm sure the summons were a part of...
Oh?
This particular devorator probably hailed from the same era as the hunters we saw, and the names you recited all belonged to the bravest hunters. Countless monsters fell to their blade.
So the names held the power all...
Navia?
Huh? Oh, I meant...
I really appreciated those...
all right, all right. Anyway, let's...
She ran off!
I should probably head back as well. This story was truly incredible. Good.
Traveler, should your name and deeds be forgotten, what do you think the
I suppose the significance would be the journey itself and the world we helped create. There's still value in the time I shared with everyone here, in the things we were able to accomplish.
A great answer. I'll remember it. Me, the Marashose hunter, says nothing in response to that question. Perhaps her answer lies in her silence.